Rio, so I see that Kevin has been he's in jail now. Again, Rio is Kevin's main social media guy. He puts the pretty face on Kevin, even though I don't know how that's possible. Kevin has got a pretty enough face, but anyway, all jokes aside, this is actually very serious, Kevin. Not Kevin, Rio. But you were telling me about something that you heard, and I want you to share it with people. This might be an illegal arrest. Why do you say that? Like, what's
So
going on here?
Peter Downey gave me a phone call, and that's when I learned Kevin was arrested. So I saw Kevin. I got tired and had to go home, and apparently 10 minutes later, he got arrested. So the arrest was basically, to what my knowledge is, and this is what I got from people from the Wexic party, was basically AHS had a restraining order
Which
against
is
him.
Alberta Health Service.
Oh, that's what it stands for. Yes, they had a restraining order against him, but they never actually filed it to him. So a restraining order does not go in effect unless I actually give it to you. And the police came there and they arrested him, but they realistically, like, there were a lot of people there and they could not arrest everyone.
Wait a minute, wait. I heard, and the media is saying that he was arrested for attending a rally, which, I mean, now I'm hearing many different things. I'm hearing now that AHS is telling is forbidding certain people from attending rallies, and now I'm hearing that he has a restraining order against him. Now, what the hell was he arrested for? Like, I don't know what the heck is going on here.
Thing is, there were police officers there all day. There was a number of people. He walked past the police officers. They did nothing. And then basically they did come after him. And AHS has had a feud with Kevin J. Johnston for a while because he's educating people what the law is, the difference between a law, a mandate, and people's rights. And police hate it when you know your rights. They
I know
seriously do.
all that, but we know that, But I want to get to, because something doesn't smell right, and I want to get to facts. I know that the police have it in for us and AHS and blah blah blah, but I want to get to the raw facts. So I saw
They
something.
don't want him to win.
Okay, yeah, I get that, but I want to know, like, here's what I'm looking at now. I got a comment from a guy named Bill K. I'm sorry if I'm putting you on the spot, but this is very important. It has to be said. He said, unless I misunderstand something, Kevin Johnston will be released tomorrow. He was charged for violating a May 6, 2021 court order, according to official press release of Calgary Police Service. This court order was modified on May 14th to include only these two people whom I don't know. Based on this, it was an unlawful arrest since the court order Kevin was arrested under was no longer in effect for Kevin at the time of the arrest. Then you come along and say Kevin was given a restraining order against AHS people, which he didn't know about, and he somehow, I don't know how did he breach this restraining order? He's arrested for that. Even someone else who's very involved in Kevin's situation, I'm not going to mention it, but even he says that this arrest seems fishy, as does this Peter guy who you're talking about. So, Rio, I just want to know something. First of all, you say he was arrested for some restraining order against AHS. What does that even mean?
Well, he actually was never delivered the restraining order. So the
But
restraining
who
order
did he breach the restraining order? How did he breach it?
No, the restraining order cannot go into act unless I actually give it, unless they actually gave it to him, which he has never actually received. He might have received it recently, but there's no way you can breach a restraining order unless it has been given to you.
But who was on the restraining order? Was it one individual, 2, 3, 4, or the entire system? And
just I would not be able to answer that question. But I'm going to tell you something. This is only going to make Kevin stronger than ever.
I know that. And I think Jason Kenney's behind all this, because it's funny. Jason Kenney, who's the premier of Alberta, never mentioned a peep about Kevin. We didn't even know he even knew who Kevin was. And then immediately after the brothers arrested, Jason Kenney, who's supposed to be the premier of Alberta, comes out and says, oh, this guy's a nut. I mean, what I strongly feel that Jason Kenney was behind this and other people were behind this to get him locked up, to damage his chances at winning the mayoral race. But I don't understand how he could be arrested for. Okay, can I show you something here, Ria? I want to show you something. This is another reason I brought you on here.
Yeah.
Okay, so CBC has said restraining order issued against mayoral candidate threatening armed visits to Alberta health workers. Well,
He never said that once.
I know that, but here's what he did say. This is what he did say. He said, you're all going to be in handcuffs. That's something Kevin says all the time. Said Johnston, addressing AHS employees on his radio webcast on Saturday after he took videos of his friend Art Pulowski and Dawad Pulowski for being arrested. That pastor being arrested on the freeway, indignant. The way this country goes after Christians, the way, I mean, I know me and you disagree on Zionism and everything, but the way Israel goes after Muslims, Canada's going to be cursed in the same way with, but anyway, let's not go off on a tangent. I apologize.
Yes.
I'm coming for you all, he told AHS workers. If SWAT won't come, it's simple. I'll arm myself and come right to your doors. Basically, what he's saying is he's going to act as a police officer and come. He didn't say he was going to come and shoot you guys or anything. That's what he's talking about. And he's talking about this when he is mayor. Is there anything that I'm missing here?
Nope, those are actually legal threats. Like if I was mad at you and I said,
I'm going to sue you.
I'm going to sue you. That's a legal threat.
That's a legal threat.
Legal. He's saying if I am mayor and I figured out you're doing things illegally, you will be in handcuffs. And our idiot mayor Nait Nenshi, said, I could arrest Kevin. No, you can't. Like, he doesn't know the law. And that's the thing is, he's not threatening to hurt people. He's threatening to take legal actions.
Well, absolutely. I want to get back to this potentially illegal arrest. So you're saying that he was never presented with a restraining order. Now, do you know if he knew about the restraining order?
He knew about the restraining order, but it was never handed to him. It gave him a lot of media attention, and he was on the phone with the lady. I forget if it was CTV or CBC, one of them.
Mm-hmm. Do you know, and if you don't, it's okay. I don't want you to be put on the spot, but do you know who was on the restraining order?
It was just for Kevin, to my knowledge.
No, I mean, like, who was he not supposed to be around? What is it?
Just AHS headquarters and their agents, I believe.
Okay. So was he around any of them?
Not to my knowledge. I know he stands up for people who are being harassed by AHS, and he educates people on the law that pisses them off.
And then, but what I heard on a news, I don't know if you can hear this. I don't know if you've seen this, Rio, but I'm gonna play the news clip that I found on Kevin being arrested. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it, but can you hear that?
Calgary mayoral candidate Kevin Johnston.
You can hear that.
Yes.
Okay, I want you to listen. It's only 23 seconds, but they're going to tell us why he was arrested.
Calgary mayoral candidate Kevin J. Johnston has been arrested. Calgary police say it was because he violated a Court of Queen's Bench order keeping people from attending large gatherings.
Okay, so they're saying that he was arrested because of a Queen's Bench order keeping people away from large gatherings. So was he also arrested for attending a large gathering? I don't even know what that means. Queen's Bench order. I mean, Do you even know what that means, Rio?
No, I do not. When I think Queen, I think of the band Queen or Her Majesty the Queen. I have no idea what they're talking about.
Okay, let's continue here.
The illegal gathering took place this morning. Johnston had also been served a restraining order this week against AHS workers because he was threatening to harm them at their homes.
Okay, now we know that's untrue. He never said he was going to harm them. He said he was going to, if he has the good pleasure of being elected as mayor of Calgary, what he would do is he would legally go after them. Now, if he's going to harm them legally, okay, fine. But I don't know anything in the law that says that you can be arrested for legally threatening or legally promising to do something to someone.
Kevin actually was on the phone with the news lady about that, and he was talking about how they took what she said out of context. And Kevin said, is there anything holding you people accountable for telling lies? And the woman openly admitted, she said no. And she was basically confessing that they're lying about what Kevin said. We both know this, but I was surprised they actually confessed that they were fake news.
Now, if Kevin is being arrested for the crime of attending a large rally or some Queen's bench, crap, Queen's throne, Queen's toilet, whatever it's called, I mean, I don't know if it's happening in Alberta, but I've seen a lot of pro-Palestinian protests, which I support. You probably don't, but it's okay. But the point is, I don't know if anyone's been arrested. It's the same thing though with the Black Lives Matter protests, which I don't support, and you also don't support. But it's like it's like they pick and choose what they want people to stand for. Can I be honest, Rio? Nothing in Canada makes sense right now.
No, nothing.
And you told me that Kevin could actually sue the police authority.
Because, well, Peter Downey, who is leader of Wexic, was the one who informed me that. He called me and said, since it was an illegal arrest, and we know we can use Kevin's own words, that Kevin never actually said, I'm going to physically harm you. He meant legal consequences, which, yes, he can. If I threatened to sue someone and they called the police and said, Rio threatened to hurt me with a knife or a gun, that person is liable for falsely accusing me, etc. Like, you wouldn't like it if I falsely accused you of physical assault, and that is something I don't do because I have more values.
Well, yeah, and when he said he would come to their house armed, he's talking in reference to being like the SWAT team. They'll come to your house armed, and if they don't do it, he said he will. Okay.
And
Not a stupid comment. Maybe it's a stupid comment. Okay, but it's not a threat as far as I know. He's not threatening to come to their house to shoot them.
No, and this is the second time we caught them lying. Another time he posted a picture of a lady from AHS saying, if you know where she is, tell me because I have legal documents for her. Her kids, he blurted out their faces so you couldn't see. Her husband, you blurted out his face so you couldn't see, but you saw her having parties, large gatherings, what she should not be doing as an AHS employee. And she called the police and said, help, Kevin posts pictures of my kids. Number one, you posted them on
Kevin
Facebook.
does that all the time. Kevin posts pictures of people in his, not kids, but of people whom he is after who have done something.
Yes, but she said he posted her kids. What he did not. He blurted out their faces, and even the media misrepresented that. Kevin is so kind-hearted and respectful. He blurted out the kids' faces, so you don't know what her kids look like. We are looking for her to serve her papers, and she lied. She called the police, and the police said that's not illegal.
Absolutely, it's not illegal. I mean, look, we review at Arana Nation. I'm sure you've seen these videos. We review a lot of Kevin's stuff, and we see Kevin go through some of the worst type of abuses, both verbally and in many cases physically. I mean, he was pushed out of some small store in some small town. I mean, the only time Kevin has ever reacted physically out of anger was with Dave, and that was, I believe, 100% 100% justified, because Kevin was leaving the store and Dave and all of his employees were walking towards him. You don't know what these people are going to do. They could have jumped him, shanked him, shot him, beat him, and he was filming to see what could end up happening. Dave swatted the phone out of Kevin's hand, and Kevin reacted by pushing him away. He didn't even hit him. He pushed his face away. And
I saw it too. The other time, I've never seen Kevin this angry before.
Kevin always advocates
One
nonviolence.
employee said the Holocaust never happened. I'm sure you've seen this. Kevin blew his head off and he was screaming at that Holocaust denier. Media never picked up on it once.
Well, yeah, and I mean, but other than that, I've never heard Kevin scream too much. I think I've only heard Kevin scream 3 times. I've never seen Kevin hit back. When he was pushed out of the small store, he never hit back. Kevin is always restrained. He's always just completely restrained. Not like I would be. I'll admit I would not be so restrained. Rio, and people have heard me scream before and shout and get.
I've seen you. I don't want to be near you when you're angry. Believe me.
Angry. I'm not. Listen, Kevin. I've said Kevin has the personality of Martin Luther King. I have the personality of Malcolm X. I believe in the eye for the eye, but I respect Kevin's restraint. But we've talked about it. My fans have seen it. Everybody's seen it, and now they're saying he's some violent monster who wants to come and go threaten harm on AHS workers. That's a lie. That's a bold-faced lie. And by the way, Kevin doesn't even have any weapons.
Well, the thing is, we just discovered the man who's running the CBC was none other but than Pinocchio himself.
Who?
Pinocchio, the boy whose nose grows.
Oh, I see. Yeah, but I mean, I'm glad that you managed to clear this up with the audience about how this could. And by the way, we have to stress that Peter Downey, I spoke to him. He couldn't come on, but he also said that he's not saying for sure it is illegal, but it could be an illegal arrest. It looks like a fishy arrest. All I know is that they're saying that he uttered threats to AHS. They were legal threats. Number 2, I don't know what this Queen's Bench thing is. A Queen's Bench order stating that he's not supposed to attend rallies. I'm sorry. In this country, I'll attend any rally I want. You're not going
yes, freedom, free country. It even says in the Charter of Rights and Freedom, we have the freedom to travel. That violates his Charter of Rights freedom. But in the words of a wise but fictional man, if you strike me down, I will grow far more powerful than you can possibly imagine. Tommy Robinson as example. He's our version of Tommy Robinson. Kevin J. Johnston is the Alice Cooper of politics. That is what he is.
Rhea, one quick thing, and I won't inflict you and the audience any further. What do you think of Jason Kenney calling Kevin a nut bar?
Kenny, he looks like Randy from Trailer Park Boys. His Facebook page, if you look at it, is everyone asking him to resign. He has no class at all. He has no fashion sense. No one likes him. His approval rating is in the dirt.
Yeah.
I think he's worse than Doug Ford.
I don't know. I don't know how you can be worse than Doug Ford. I'm trying to get up a picture of Jason Kenney now. I don't know if you would. I don't think you'd be able to see it. But can you see my screen?
Yeah. And just compare him. Type down Jason Kenney, Randy. You can't tell the difference.
Randy who?
Just type down the words Randy and Jason Kenney.
Is this what I'm looking at?
No, Jason Kenney and Randy. Jason Kenney and then the word Randy.
And Randy.
Not and Randy, just Randy.
Jason Kenney, Randy. From Trailer Park Boys?
Yes, they look exactly the same.
Yeah,
Can you tell me the difference?
Yeah, they do. They do. They do. Yeah, I'd say they absolutely do.
I think it's the same person.
I met Jason Kenney once, You know what he did? He's very pathetic, actually. I mean, I told this story in another video, but when I was on the inside, um, I was talking to Aaron O'Toole, and he's my MPP, not my MPP, but my MP, Member of Parliament. And I spoke to him, and earlier I had spoken to Jason Kenney because I had met him somewhere, and Jason Kenney came up. This was at a convention, a conservative convention. I'm not a conservative. I used to work with them,
Yes,
and
I left
I
the party.
yeah, I'm independent. But I spoke to Aaron O'Toole. I said, you know, you're one of my favorite politicians. That was at the time. I don't believe that now. I was a kid back then. I was starstruck. I said, you're my favorite politician. And Jason Kenney comes up. I thought I was your favorite politician. What a pathetic. I mean, embarrassing. Are you still running, Rio? You're still running to be MLA of your riding, aren't you?
Yes, I am. And actually, fun fact, I was once on a bus full of people heading to the debates, and someone said, "Isn't Jason Kenney's gay?" And I replied, "Jason Kenney's not gay. Gay people have fashion sense." The entire bus roared with laughter.
Exactly.
And
And that is true.
And yes, I am, because if you check my channel, The Inconsiderate Truth, I did a video on how bad Notley is and how bad Kenny is. And since we have 3 liberal parties, there's nothing stopping the Wild Rose Independence Party from winning this next election.
All right. Well, you guys heard it. He has Rio has a YouTube channel by the name of Inconsiderate Truth.
The Inconsiderate Truth.
The Inconsiderate Truth. He's actually written comments on Arana Nation, so you can find it there. Otherwise, type it in YouTube, subscribe to him. He's a great guy. He is Kevin J. Johnston's social media czar, I guess you could say, social media guy. Rio, anything else you want to say, or anything else?
Nope. I just think everything's a blessing in disguise, and Kevin's not done. He's just going to keep coming back and back. And in your words, not mine, I'm going to vote for someone who's willing to get arrested for my freedom.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The best leaders have gone to jail promoting freedom. The greatest leaders have gone to jail promoting freedom. In fact, I'll go so far as to say, if you're a politician and you haven't gone to jail promoting freedom, I don't trust you as much as someone who, I don't trust you as much. If you haven't been to jail, if you've been a goody two shoes, good grades, Ivy League, nice and good, and perfect family, this guy, never been in any trouble, I don't trust you too much. I don't trust you. You're easily controlled and you're easily scared. Evan has been through so much, I don't think anything scares him anymore.
High five there, brother.
Yeah. All right, Rio, I won't inflict myself on you anymore. You take care of yourself. Good luck in your election. Let's get Kevin as mayor of Calgary. This is the